Hello, everyone. Welcome to Action Planning and Community Building. If you attended the Bergen County Youth Summit, you should know a little bit about this, and you should have worksheets that were distributed that detail how to do this work. But first, who am I and why am I telling you this? Well, I'm Maddie, and I work with the Lindsay Meyer Teen Institute. Feel free to pause and read this description, but the most important part is that our mission is to guide young people to realize their leadership potential and become empowered to create positive changes in themselves, in their schools, and in their communities. Why is this important? Because today we are talking about how action planning can positively impact your schools and communities. Where do we start? What is action planning? Why is it important? And what does it do for us? Basically, action planning is taking steps to better your community by assessing needs you may have. This will overall improve your community. To answer this further, we have to look to Strategic Prevention Framework, or SPF. The Strategic Prevention Framework is known to promote youth development, reduce risk-taking behaviors, build assets and resilience, and prevent problem behaviors across the lifespan. It consists of 5 easy-to-remember steps that should be a part of every project, activity, or event that your group plans, especially when you're working to prevent alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use. What does that mean? Basically, there are only 5 steps that you have to take to make a change in your community. These 5 steps are assessment, capacity, planning, implementation, and evaluation. By completing these steps, you will have a more sustainable and culturally competent community. The first step in any project planning process should be a needs assessment. By identifying the real needs of their school or community, your group is more likely to plan projects that will truly make a difference. Looking at the problems you already noticed in your community helps you to plan a project that can actually change it. This ties into the community scan that happened through the Bergen Youth Task Force. These worksheets should look familiar, as they are the ones that we will be working with today. There is an abbreviated version you received to make this process easy to follow. Here's an example. If we look at the Bergen Youth Task Force's booklet they made about community scanning, we can assess a need from that community scan. This need is improper disposal of alcohol containers. But why is this an issue? Maybe it's because youth are drinking in parks to hide it from the adults in their lives. Why is this an issue? It's easy to access and buy. Why is this an issue? Because stores don't ask for IDs. Make sure you go through the but whys of each step. Maybe it's peer pressure, which is because people want to fit in. Maybe it's because they see their role models doing it and they think it's the norm. Or maybe it's easy to hide in a park because it's dimly lit. We now see issues that we can address in the community. For example, dimly lit parks can be addressed by adding more light sources. Wanting to fit in can be solved by hosting alcohol, tobacco, and other drug-free events. Now you can fill out this sheet on your own with both sides, since you understand how to assess your needs. The next step is capacity building. This step involves identifying what resources your group has available in their school or community and deciding how they might be able to use each resource. You can look at what specific skills people have, what locations are available to you, how much money is at your disposal, and more to plan appropriately for your event. Step 3 is planning. Your group should spend a considerable amount of time planning the actual project that they want to implement. The most important thing is to remember that the actual project plan should A, meet the needs you identified in the assessment, and B, include the resources you identified in capacity building. Take what you've assessed so far and plan using that. What but why are you going to address? What resources do you have to do so? What will the solution itself be? Step 4 is implementation. This step is the actual implementation of what you planned. For example, holding the event, doing the sticker shock, cleaning the park, or whatever you plan to do. And the last step is evaluation. This step may seem boring, but it's arguably the most important. The evaluation process not only includes determining how well your project went, but whether or not it accomplished what you intended. The evaluation process should help your group decide if their project should be terminated or replaced, improved for the next time, or done over and over again. This can be as simple as asking others how they felt about the project, or as complex as sending out a survey. However, you can evaluate the job you did. As stated earlier, groups should address sustainability and cultural competency in every step to ensure that their efforts are designed to last and meet the diverse needs of their community. This aids your community greatly. Here are 7 strategies for community level change. 1. Providing support. Maybe a group of people in your community need to be supported in some way. 2. Providing information. This can be through pamphlets, educational meetings, and more. 3. Enhancing and building skills. You can possibly teach others the skills they may need to achieve your goals. 4. Enhancing or reducing access and barriers. Maybe enhancing barriers to access tobacco, alcohol, and other drugs, or even reducing barriers such as translating information into the language someone speaks at home. 5. Changing consequences. Make the consequences more clear and keep them being implemented. 6. Changing physical design. This ties into things we discussed, such as lighting a park or making alcohol less easy to steal at a liquor store by placing small bottles by the register. And lastly, modifying or changing policies. Address the issue with higher ups like school administration or even government officials to change what happens as a result of these issues. So what's next? A call to action. We want to challenge you to make a change in your community. While you can follow any plan to make a change by following the steps on the page we gave you, we want you all to make a change as well. We want you to go to a local park and pick up some of the disposed of alcohol bottles or other trash and make a positive impact on your community. Thank you all for listening today, and I hope you learned a lot about how you can positively change your community.